We thank you again for staying with us on the show this morning on ITV. Lovely Monday morning. We get our conversations on now as the challenge of insecurity continues to bite harder. We exploring the opportunities available in community policing, particularly at the level of the Vigilante network structure. Communities at different levels are putting structures together just to ensure that they're able to galvanize the security structure in the community. Edo State government has been leveraging on that by the creation of the Vigilante network. But it also behoves on us as a people to take some personal decision, make some personal decisions in seeing how we can key into that and make a difference in our respective communities. Well, I have with me here in the studio former Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, former member, Igwebe constituency in the State House of Assembly, former Deputy Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, Dr. Justin Okonobo. Dr. Justin Okonobo, thank you for coming on the program.
My honor. Thanks for having me.
So it's a delight to have you here.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, now let's begin from the basics.
Yes.
We've had conversations on, okay, security problem is here now. What is the best approach to challenging this or confronting this menace? People have said, well, let's have state police. Or some have said, well, state police, the state executives will abuse it. Let's go to community policing. From all indication, it looks like community policing is winning it. You want to subscribe to that?
Yes.
Give us your perspective.
Seriously, because you know that security, the hallmark of security is intelligence.
Yeah.
The reason we are all veering towards community policing is that it's those who are at home that know the people at home, that know exactly what's happening at home. If you allow me to use I'm from Esan. Esan will say, "Hey, Jada noto, ada hore." Meaning it's where you are familiar with, you can disappear and reappear.
Fantastic.
That's the issue. So community policing, people have always hampered on it. That is actually the way to go. People there are a lot of things that have been gearing towards community policing. We are head of neighborhood watch. We have heard of police community relations committee. They are all gearing towards community policing because especially with what is happening now with these bandits that are inside the bush. The normal trained policeman will find it difficult to go into the bush, especially if it's from Nasarawa State. Then you are in Esan. To go into the bush is not that easy.
You'll be lost.
You'll be lost.
Yeah.
So you need people at home, and that's why we are taking advantage of this idea of vigilante. And vigilante is voluntarily based. So people, like you rightly said just now, it behoves of us to come together and see what we can do about all this. And we know that these hunters who live most of their lives inside the bush at all, we know exactly what to do. Maybe as we talk further, I'll tell you how we are trying to turn the hunters into strong vigilantes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but let's look at one major concern, because you said a while ago that you have these murderers who are accessing the bushes,
yes.
And probably taking over the bushes.
But they live inside the bushes.
Okay, they live inside the bushes. Now,
bushes.
what do you make of this challenge of the exodus of youths from communities to the urban centers in this structure that is being built now? Don't you see that as a major challenge?
It is a major challenge, as it were. Governments at all levels, local government, state government, federal government, have been doing all they can to stem youth unemployment or stem rural urban migration and everything. The reason is because of employment. If there are employments in the rural area, the youth won't move. They won't move. I think one area we've missed is mechanized agric that would have kept them back at home to earn well and everything. But as that problem remains, it doesn't stop us from see what we can do in the rural areas to keep things going right. With this security, some of the youth are at home now are seeing this vigilante something as a you are trying to kill two birds with a stone. One, they really want to help with the insecurity at home, and two, it's a source of source of employment. Before now, there were really not much in terms of stipends from government, but with what we'll talk about later, what we have formed now, the Eastern Solidarity Forum, we are also finding a way that the people will get involved in vigilante. We give them some stipends to keep them moving. That, in a way, helps towards a majority general employment problem. So the youth matter is still there, but we'll make the best of what we have.
Okay, let's quickly look at recently. We've had several launches of Vigilante.
Yes.
In Edo South, in Edo North, and then in Edo Central. Where we heard of Atalakpa. That came into on board.
Yes.
That seems to be one of the most audacious launch we've seen, with vehicles, and then we've seen them, you know, with bulletproof vests and stuff like that. Yeah. So give us insight into that.
Well, like what we were talking about since, what led to this was when we saw what the state government was doing with Vigilante network. The state government had been up and doing concerning that. We felt we should take advantage of that to assist them. We are not coming in as a militia or anything. It's to assist government in that area. We came and spoke to many of our sons and daughters, and it's one of the biggest association of ASAN sons and daughters I have seen recently. A lot of people jumped into it because the security matter. You know, nobody can go home. So
everyone is vulnerable.
So we saw it as this one thing everybody should plow into, and everybody started doing. We raised some funds, and we said this security matter, we'll look at it properly, this vigilante matter, because the hunters, like I told you, they are usually in the bush. They see all these bandits ahead of them. The problem is that the bandits have upgraded from AK-47 guns to AK-49 now, and our hunters have been gone. So we thought, when we saw their enthusiasm, that there's need to assist them. I won't go into all that, how we have
security
matters, but we provided, then we launched it, we provided 10 vehicles, bikes, bulletproof vests, and the rest of them to support them. And that has motivated them so much that a lot of people now want to jump into it. We say, fine, come, but we must screen them. So we have a screening committee that screens them, pass them over to the DPO in the locality to look at them properly and let us know who can be part of the, can fit in. So that's what we have done. And after the launching, we find that a lot of them are now very well motivated, and a lot more want to join. And that's it. And the government too has a stretched out an arm of partnership. The day we launched it, the coordinator of Edo Vigilante, Haruna, was there to join us to launch this thing. So the government is aware of what we are doing, and we try to submit to them all the time to know that this is not a militia, it's just that we want to support government to secure Eastern land. So that's where we are for now.
Okay, now the question is, like it's always the case, how sustainable is this? I raised a fundamental question earlier that we have seen massive rural-urban migration over the years. So which means you need the personnel.
That's right.
That's one. Then two, you talked about stipends. I mean, someone is going to risk his life or her life to defend and to protect, as it were. Now, if something is not coming in, that seems to be the crux of the matter. Looking at these factors, how sustainable is this?
Very, very
from the private sector initially, because this looks like,
I agree with you,
this is community driven.
But the people we are looking at in this vigilante are really not the fresh graduates as such. There are people who are already at home, hunters. Are you following? The hunters they are home based, but the problem was ever since they were really not encouraged to do this job because of the equipment they were carrying and no stipend. That's where we have come in now to make sure they we liaise with police to make sure they have good equipment to use and to have stipends. They're already at home. Hunters are usually
at home.
At home, yes.
And in the
but
bush.
the problem I want to quickly point out here that we started having in recent times is that it's like our community members are beginning to aid and abet the bandits.
Interesting.
Because of money. You know, there's so much money in kidnapping, and somebody pays the ransom of 10 million naira. So the bandits can bring out 1 million and
influence.
You know what I can do in the locality. So that's the problem we have. So that's why this last Saturday, the NEJs gathered in the Gweben local government area to talk about that matter, and our chairman board of trustees, AVM Antonio Query, led a few of our executives to meet with them, to plead with them that this is the time to really talk to their communities. People. I know when you talk about community policing, the NEJs, they come very, very handy. These are a group of people that have so much to do with democracy. I don't know why we used to have the House of Chiefs those days. I don't know why the council did. Okay. Because they have a very strong role to play in democracy.
In community policing.
Now in community policing.
Yeah.
So we went to speak to them to please talk to their people. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, Gianojo Oforomi gathered some of his people to speak to them that this idea of what's going on around, from that many of them need to come out. The women, they need to swear. Well, those are traditional things. Yeah. Any policeman that has spent more than 5 years in the local government should be transferred and all that. That's an analogy. Taking an initiative to speak about the security. That's what we went to do on Saturday. We went pleaded with them, and they're quite.
So it's TMI Monday. We're x-raying the challenge of security, particularly at the community level, and how we can fortify and strengthen our vigilante structures to be able to contend and confront the challenges of insecurity. And I've been talking with former Speaker at the State House of Assembly, who is also a community leader, Right Honorable Dr. Justin Okonovo. Once again, thank you for coming on the program.
My honor.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's quickly cap this up on the sustainability, which was a question that I asked.
Very sustainable.
Okay.
Because it's homegrown.
Yeah.
And it's a voluntary thing. We didn't conscript people into it. They are coming out to say want to join, and they are home based. Once we give them stipends, which they were not getting before, and they now have something to hold on to, it's very, very sustainable. Very, very.
Okay, you mentioned a while ago that this is beginning to rear its head.
Yes.
People who are sabotaging the effort,
yes,
by way of being influenced by bandits and all of that. I mean, an incident happened recently in a community in Ewu, Ogodogbo to be specific, where a house was attacked. Yes. I mean, there were bullets and all of that on the ground.
That's right.
And then efforts were made by the people to reach out to Vigilante.
Yes.
They didn't show up. They didn't show up. And I'm asking this question now because of the issue of being able to be ready at any time to confront this challenge.
Yes.
What is the level of capacity in that direction?
Well, if, as you said, they may not have shown up, probably they don't have what to use.
Okay.
Fear could have been a factor in that matter, because I know at that level, if it's within the community, the vigilante are brothers and sisters of those who were attacked. That's the advantage of this vigilante system. It's homegrown, home-based, and in the community, people are interrelated. So if it happens, they really want to get there to see what happened and see what they can do. But if there is fear, people are having sophisticated equipment, and that may have kept them back. I've already told you the little challenge about connivance and all that. I wouldn't know what happened in that matter. But I know at Ubiaja, that's about the Eastern Southeast local government area, about a month or so ago, there was an ambush, and one of our members, the vigilante group, was killed.
Yeah.
And you know, ambush is taking somebody by surprise. Unawares. Yeah. You can't do that without prior information. So we believe somebody must have hinted the bandits that these guys are
on their way,
and that kind of thing. So that's what we're actually serious about talking to the
community people,
especially the indigenous, to help us. Terrorists and bandits, they have onoges. And the way we are built as Africans, we have tremendous respect for our traditional, especially the onoges. Tremendous respect. So if an onoge can really sit down to say, who are these? And you can talk to a terrorist in his domain to say, what is the meaning of all this? And he will speak directly to him and everything. So we really need their support.
What's the level of engagement? Because we've also seen that in some instances,
yes,
some community leaders,
yes,
are aiding and abetting this kind of set of people,
yes,
by giving them access to lands,
yes,
at strategic locations and things like that.
Yes,
yeah.
That was before now. Before we started building this searchlight, those kind of things were happening. That is monetary influences here and there.
Okay.
But now that the indigenous and the traditional people know that there's a searchlight, I think they are withdrawing. We are not saying why you are withdrawing. Help us talk to the smaller ones who are still doing this is to stop, because the searchlight is on them. You also know that nationally, in say about 10 years back, this searchlight was not even around anywhere. It's not everybody is rising up to say, hey, no to open grazing. No to, I posted something to you.
Yeah.
I had that kind of, so it's so open now to everybody that things will not be as it used to be. So everybody is beginning to search back and look at how they can defend themselves.
All right. Let me thank you very specially,
yes,
for this opportunity to have a chat with you and give some insight into
with you always
all that is happening.
Yeah.
But you are very optimistic that this is sustainable.
Very, very
with the level of support.
Very,
the support will continue to
very,
come
very sustainable
to be able to.
Well, we know the way it is now. I'm sure the state government too want to match whatever we are bringing up to keep it going. So
absolutely. Thank you very much for coming.
My honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it's the TMI Monday. We'll take a short break. I'll be back with you. Destiny Owabu is our next guest, talking economy and economics and the state of the nation. Don't go away.